on advancing to Ph.D. candidate in Geophysics, 2017, University of California, Berkeley. I'm filming this. It's been over 7 years now, and I still don't have my any graduate degree. Okay, it's Saturday, 21 September 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm going to talk through advancing to being a Ph.D. candidate in geophysics at the University of California, Berkeley. I passed my corresponding exams on Thursday, 13 April 2017, after starting the program in mid-August 2015. So a year and 8 months later or something like that, I passed my exam. So and I did not eat Pop-Tarts at the time, and I ended up quitting with no degree. So after I was like in the PhD program, and eventually was like, you know what, I'm just so tired of this, I'm just see if we can demote it to a master's and quit my degree. Right. So quit my degree, quit everything. I was just like, no degree. So let's do a little bit. I did not eat Pop-Tarts at the time, so in the case I do ever, in case the school ever wants me, and like if I go the Italy way, you know, maybe the Pop-Tarts are part of the fuel to launch that. I didn't eat Pop-Tarts back then, so I gotta do it now. You know, this is a cinnamon brown sugar Pop-Tart new package. Okay, so we had 9 people in my year. Yes, 9, N-I-N-E, like my jersey number and the number of seasons I played soccer. So we had 9 in my class, and we all passed. We all even were assigned a member of the Fellowship of the Ring. I was Pippin, a hobbit. Okay, so there was a structure for this exam of pass and fail. And there were 2 ways you could fail. You could either fail and do it again the next year, so retry, or you'd fail and you're out. I passed, and I was the only female in my year to finish in less than 2 hours. The upper limit was 3 or 4 hours. I was second to take my exam the year after my friend Jinsul Kim of Korea, who went on, I think it was Monday of the same week. So I think, if I'm recalling correctly, we were 1-2 out super fast together, and then there was a little bit of a break, and then the next person went. Like the next person was, it might have even been May, but I don't know. I don't recall. There was a gap. It was at least a week, yeah. So it was mid-April, so it might have been end of April, but there was a gap. And she was Jinsul Kim. She's in 2 videos on this channel, I think. So she did atmospheric chemistry and worked on measurement devices for measuring different chemicals in the atmosphere. So that's a little bit about the taking it. Exam structure. So it included 2 written proposals submitted in advance, each with a different advisor, plus then an oral exam including presentation and defense of both projects. So we were required to come up with 2 different research projects, each one with a different advisor, write up a proposal for each, submit them in advance, and then go and present them after giving a talk at a conference. Only you do it for 2 projects instead of 1. 2, like each one with a different advisor, and then you could just find it. Now, what was the setup in the room? So, the room where I had it had a oblong table, like an oval, not a circle, elongated, yeah. And a projector over here, board over here, another board over here, because you could draw. It could draw or write things down on the board for answering questions if need be. So projected over here. I was here at the table with my computer. I had to have 3 members from the department, 2 in my specialty, 1 outside of my specialty. So my major was my specialty, geophysics, and then 1 person from outside the department. So I was here. The man I chose from material science and engineering was here. At the head of the table was the man I asked to be the chair of my committee, who was in geophysics, my designation. Then next to him was my advisor for one of my projects in geophysics. man, and then next to him, my advisor for one of my projects in geology. So, my emphasis designation was an official thing. So my major, geophysics, right, is the most represented. And geology and geophysics, those three people were in the Department of Earth and Planetary Science with me. And then a guy from Material Science and Engineering was my out-of-department member. So that was the setup in the room. I don't think I ever used the board over there, but I did use the board over here, closer to the table. I was speedy. I got the same question a number of times, phrased differently a number of times, and I actually called that out at one point. I was like, I've gotten that question like 3 times now, and my answer has not changed. I still don't know. And so it might have been part of why I finished in less than 2 hours. If I'm recalling correctly, there was only one man in our year who might have been about my speed. And he went later, so he used my time to speed up, you know. And he was of a rival clan of Scotland by ancestry. I'm a clan Gordon, he was a clan Lindsay, and I was like, that's how graduate school goes. Sometimes ethnicity matters. Alright. If you're competitive like we are. Stats for where we ended up. So best as I know. 6. So of the 9, 6 got PhDs. 2 left with a master's degree. And 1, me, left with no degree. So we all applied to the PhD program. So they got 66% success rate on that. Or 66% retention rate. I don't know if that's low or high. Okay, so let's say I went back. So I ended up leaving with no degree. What would be, well, I'm eating these Pop-Tarts for a reason. What would be my target number of first author publications if I were to go the physics in Italy path with Giorgio Parisi as my working model advisor? 9! Didn't work last time for me. Alright, having 9 for the fellowship. This is a target number. 9 if no required courses like this program. Yeah. So, we had, like, required classes for getting familiar with the department and, like, what department we were in. But that was the, like, 50 papers I mentioned. So, like, read 50 papers that he sends. Whoever my advisor is. There's the model advisor and then there's the advisor. And they can align, but they can be different. Unless Parisi is like, no! She's mine. He's like, what? Okay. So then it could be like, do that, submit my CV, go on day 1, or like bring it with me or whatever it is, and read the articles with notes. Go in day 1. We set up appointments to go through all of the papers, and maybe there's 1 or 2 where I'm like, would we want to try out like a simplified experiment on this, or, you know, that kind of thing, or just like an analog in the office or in the lab. I don't know if there's no lab. An analog desk experiment. But then, so figure out how to talk through that, how to talk through the CV, or like when, I guess would be. And then another batch of 50 papers. I'll read about one's his choice, a mix of his choice and my choice, or my choice. And then if that's not, then you can eventually, like, letting me get a say, right? If he wants that, right, of me choosing articles to help fine-tune research projects. And then maybe for the dissertation itself, I don't want to just do a bunch of articles I've published. That's kind of a waste of a dissertation. So focus on the publications being different than the dissertation, but there being an underlying project that publications feed back into. And I do actually have a topic of interest, but I'd have to go through him. All right, see if he'd want that. And I have a paper I saved back in like it was 2018 plus or minus year, of like, I was just reading stuff and I was like, I'd really love to do these experiments, modernize it and just like do it. And they were really simple, like could do at home with some like cutting edge technology kind of thing, but like modernize it, and it tests really super basic light phenomena, magnetism phenomena, stuff like that. But actually be like, can I modernize it and then see if I can tie that into like whatever I'm doing for the publications. All right, that would be a dream. Oh, that is a dream. Yeah, if I were to go back to school, there is something that was entirely of my own reading off on the side, unrelated to. It was a much more pure physics, stripped down physics kind of thing. So I didn't really bring it up ever. I did not. So it was just my own thing. But bringing it up now, I was like, so if you want me, Giorgio Parisi, and you're alive or resurrected, you know, I say yes. My soulmates say yes. My Cristiano and my Seishon go, we're battling. We want to be there at least some of the time. Or her date, or her lunch date, if nothing else. So that's on advancing to PhD candidate in Geophysics, 2017, University of California, Berkeley. Me, she, her, hers of Seattle, Tanis Coralee Leonhardi.